Hi everyone! In today's video, I want to show you how I did this abstract rainbow design. It was actually really fun to do. But before we start, make sure to prep well the nails. And you guys already know that the only thing that I'm able to do is file them. And since I'm going to do acrylic nails, I'm also going to get ready the form. And I'm going to do some cuts on the side that are going to serve me as a guide. For today's video, I'm going to do almond-shaped nails, and the way that you're going to put the form is a little bit different. What you have to do is close off the tip a little bit more, and that's going to help you create the shape. Just like any other tutorial, I'm going to use the first bead to connect the natural nail with the form and create the shape that I want. But don't worry, because I'm going to be telling you more in detail how to do these almond-shaped nails. Also, they're going to be pretty long. And once I'm done creating the shape, I'm going to apply some pressure on the sides, and this is going to make the nail look more natural. Here, what I'm doing is that I'm using the first bead to connect the natural nail, just like I told you before. And the way that I'm going to be creating this almond nail is that I'm going to make sure that the sides are round. And to do that, I'm going to use my brush and I'm going to keep pushing the acrylic until it's round and the way I like it. Of course, once you guys are done creating the nail, it doesn't matter which shape you guys are doing. Make sure that you apply some pressure on the sides, because that's going to make the nail have more of a C shape, and it's just gonna look a lot better. Now I'm going to go ahead and start doing the third nail. And a little tip that I have for you guys is that once you are applying the first bead, make sure that everything is well covered, because if there's some spaces left, what can happen is that the nail can eventually break. Once the first step is done, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use the second bead to finally cover the entire nail. On this last nail, I'm going to be telling you step by step so you guys can understand it a little bit better. First, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to close off the form a little bit more. And then I'm going to start building up the nail by applying the first bead between the natural nail and the form. Here, what I'm going to make sure is that the sides are as round as possible. And then I'm going to use the last bead to cover up everything. On this last step, make sure that you guys don't touch the cuticle too much, because that can eventually cause lifting. And to finish up, of course, I'm going to apply some pressure on the sides. And this is how the almond-shaped nails look like. Now, what we have to do is finish up by filing the nails. You guys already know that I like to start filing the sides. And since these are almond-shaped nails, what I'm gonna do is that instead of filing them completely straight, I'm going to do round motions with the file. Now that the sides are completely done, what we have to do is file the surface, and I'm gonna use my e-file for this. The way I'm gonna file these nails is actually the same way that I'd be doing it with a file. Here, what you have to do is make sure that there's no bumps left. This is how the nails look like after filing them with the e-file. But something else that I'm gonna do to make sure that they're smooth is I'm going to go over them one last time to make sure that everything is ready to do the design. And this is how the final almond shaped nails look like. Now everything is done and we can do the rainbow. Before we start, make sure that you guys clean the nails because after filing, there's always gonna be some dust left behind. And since we're gonna be doing a rainbow and we're gonna add a bunch of different colors, I wanted to add a very thin layer of white gel nail polish because I wanted it to serve me as a type of base since everything that we're gonna be adding is going to be very colorful. And I'm gonna be using a gel nail polish, so that means that I have to cure everything for about 1 minute. To create the rainbow, I'm gonna be using gel paint, and these are all the colors. I'm gonna be using purple, yellow, pink, green, and some orange. I don't know if you guys noticed, but some of the colors I mixed with white because I wanted to have different options. In this first nail, I'm going to start with light green, and what I'm gonna do is a very abstract line, of course, since we're doing abstract rainbow. And this line is gonna serve me as a guide to add the rest of the color. Now that I'm done with the green, I'm going to start doing the second line with light orange. And I'm gonna be following the same shape that I started. I don't know if you guys are able to notice, but what I'm trying to do is that some of these lines are gonna be thinner and some are gonna be a little bit more chunky. When you guys are doing this design, I recommend you not to use too many colors in one nail. And just like I told you before, I think that it looks better when you mix thinner lines with bigger ones. I think that makes the design look a lot more interesting. And I'm gonna keep going by adding some dark orange and some purple on top. And then I'm gonna do more lines with pinks. I'm gonna use light pink and dark because I love this combination next to the green one. And to finish up this nail, I'm gonna add some yellow. On the second nail, I'm gonna keep going with the yellow, but this time it's gonna be the light one. To do the abstract line that is gonna serve me as a guide, the shape that I'm trying to do is this type of U, but I'm trying to make the bottom of the line a little bit more chunky. I know it's a little bit hard to explain, but I hope you guys can understand it better looking at the video. And then because I wanted to add some contrast, I'm gonna add some light purple right next to it. After the purple, I'm gonna add some more pink. First, I'm gonna use the light pink and I'm gonna make a chunkier line. And to finish up, I'm gonna use the dark one, and this time it's gonna be a very thin line. Something I forgot to mention is that the gel paint that I'm using has to be cured, and I'm curing this gel paint for about 1 minute. Something that I recommend you guys is to cure each color instead of doing it all at the same time, because what can happen is that the colors can end up mixing. And now for the upper half of the nail, I'm gonna try to do thinner lines, and the colors that I'm using are dark yellow, dark green, light green, and I'm gonna finish up with some orange. This third nail is going to be a little bit easier because the line guide is gonna look more so like an S. And it's gonna go from right next to the cuticle down to the tip of the nail. And I'm gonna start with the dark pink, and then I'm gonna follow with the light one. And since you guys know that I love the contrast between the pink and the green, I'm gonna use the light green and the dark one. Like you guys can tell, I'm gonna do the light green line a lot chunkier than the dark one. And to finish up this right side, I'm gonna do some lines with the light yellow and with the dark one. And I'm actually gonna do the exact same thing on the left, but this time it's going to be with the dark orange and the light orange. And now we're almost done. We have to do the last nail. And I'm gonna start with the light purple this time. It's a little bit hard to describe this line, but basically I'm gonna start from the bottom and I'm gonna do this curvy line that is gonna go right next to the cuticle. And next to the purple, I'm gonna add some more pink, of course. I'm gonna do light pink as well as dark pink right next to it. To finish up this side, I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow. Next, I'm gonna be using the dark green, and this time I'm gonna do a pretty thin line. Remember that it's important that you guys keep curing each color, because in that way you make sure that no colors are mixing. And to finish up this nail, I'm gonna do some more lines with the light green as well as some orange. And to finish up, I'm gonna cure everything for about 1 minute. And this is how the final design looks like. Honestly, I love the combination of these colors and it was so fun to do it. But before we're completely done, what we have to do is make sure that we add some top coat, because it's not only gonna add some shine, but it's also going to protect the colors that we just added. And remember that you also have to cure this, and I'm gonna cure mine for about 1 minute. And this is how the final rainbow looks like. I know that it can seem a little bit hard to do these abstract designs, but honestly, if you guys want, you can switch it up and change it a little bit. I hope you guys liked this tutorial. If you did, please subscribe and like this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!